In the deep architecture of attraction, there is a fundamental law that most modern men have forgotten, but every woman feels in her soul. It is the law of the primary focus. You see, a woman's internal world is like a compass. It is designed to seek out a true north, a fixed point of strength and direction that she can align herself with. For as long as you are a man of mission, for as long as your focus is locked onto your goals, your growth, and your purpose, you are that true north. But the moment you lose that focus, the moment you make her your primary mission and your only source of validation, her internal compass starts to spin out of control. To a man, losing focus might feel like a temporary lapse in discipline, but to the woman who loves him, it feels like she is losing herself. This is the psychological crisis that occurs when the captain abandons the helm to follow the passenger, and it is the fastest way to destroy the respect that holds a relationship together. In the olden days, a man's focus was a matter of survival for the entire tribe. If he lost sight of the horizon or became distracted by his own comforts, everyone was in danger. Because of this, a woman's attraction was biologically hardwired to favor the man who was unreachable in his dedication to his work. In recent times, we have traded the mission for the relationship. We have been told that a good partner is one who makes his woman the center of his universe. But this is a lie that leads to disaster. When you make a woman the center of your universe, you are placing a weight on her shoulders that she was never meant to carry. You are asking her to be your mission, your motivation, and your meaning. When she feels you stop looking at the world and start looking only at her, she feels a sudden, terrifying sense of vertigo. She realizes that her anchor has come loose, and if you are lost in her, then she has no one to lead her out of the fog. Connected to this is the concept of reflected identity. A woman in love often finds her own sense of purpose and excitement through the wake of the man she follows. Like a ship moving through the water, a man of focus creates a powerful wake behind him. The woman travels in that wake. She shares in his victories. She respects his struggles, and she finds her own role within his larger story. But when you lose your focus, the ship stops moving. The wake disappears. Suddenly, she is just sitting in still, stagnant water. She feels lost because the story she was a part of has come to a halt. In recent times, men wonder why their women become nagging or unhappy once the man becomes too attentive and too available. It is because she is trying to poke the ship to get it moving again. She is subconsciously trying to provoke you back into your masculine focus because, without it, she doesn't know who she is supposed to be in relation to you. Imagine the psychological drop she feels when she realizes you've become manageable. For a long time, your focus made you a mystery. You were busy, you were driven, and you were occupied with things she didn't fully understand. This created a healthy gap between you, a space where attraction could breathe. But when you lose that focus and start obsessing over her every mood, her every text, and her every whim, that gap vanishes. You become transparent. You become safe. And in the world of female psychology, a man who is too safe is a man who can no longer protect her from the world because he can't even protect his own time from her. This is why losing your focus feels like losing herself. She loses the high-value version of the woman she became when she was trying to keep up with you. She reverts to a state of anxiety and control because she no longer trusts your lead. Connected to this is the biological mirroring of masculine energy. In the olden days, if the man was focused, the woman felt at peace. If the man was distracted, the woman felt anxious. In recent times, this hasn't changed. When you are focused on your grind, your fitness, and your empire, you radiate a frequency of competence. She picks up on that frequency, and it calms her nervous system. It allows her to drop into her feminine flow because she knows the masculine structure is solid. But the second you lose that focus, the second you start drifting through life without a plan, her nervous system goes on high alert. She feels she has to take over the masculine role to keep the life from falling apart. She starts to lead, she starts to decide, and she starts to resent you for making her do it. She feels like she is losing herself because she is being forced to abandon her feminine nature to compensate for your lack of focus. Think about the validation trap. When you lose your focus, you naturally start looking to her to tell you that you're doing a good job. You start asking for her opinion on things you should already know. You start seeking her permission to be a man. This shift is repulsive to the feminine soul. A woman wants to be the reward for your mission, not the consultant for your life. When she becomes your primary focus, she feels a quiet panic because she knows that she is a fickle source of validation. She knows her moods change like the weather. If you are anchoring your entire identity to her shifting moods, she knows you are built on sand. She feels lost because she no longer has a rock to stand on. In recent times, we see this in the nice guy who does everything for his woman, only for her to leave him for a man who barely gives her the time of day, but is obsessed with his own craft. Connected to this is the mystery of the horizon. A man of focus is always looking at the horizon, at the next goal, the next challenge, the next mountain. Because he is looking at the horizon, the woman is looking at him to see what he sees. This is the natural order of attraction. But when you lose your focus and start looking only at her, she has nothing left to look at but herself. And when she looks at herself through the lens of a man who has given up his world for her, she doesn't like what she sees. She sees a woman who has tamed a lion into a house cat. The excitement is gone. The adventure is dead. She feels a sense of grief for the man you used to be, and in that grief, she loses her own sense of joy and vibrancy. She becomes cold and distant, not because she hates you, but because she is trying to starve your attention so that you'll be forced to look back at the horizon. In the olden days, men understood that their focus was their honor. To lose focus was to lose one's seat at the table of men. In recent times, we've been told that balance is the goal. But for a man, balance is often just a code word for mediocrity. You cannot be balanced when you are building something great. You must be obsessed. And it is that obsession that a woman finds so incredibly magnetic. When she sees you in your element, whether you're under the hood of a car, coding a new program, or training in the gym, she feels a spark of attraction that no date night could ever replicate. She feels found in your focus. She feels that as long as you know where you're going, she is safe to follow. But the moment you put her first and your mission second, you have broken the contract of the masculine-feminine dynamic. Imagine the resentment loop that starts when the focus is lost. You think you are being loving by giving her all your time. She feels smothered and unprotected. You feel unappreciated because she's being cold. She feels guilty because she doesn't know why she isn't happy with a nice guy who gives her everything. The shift happens when the woman realizes that she has to find her own focus because yours is gone. She starts to pull away. She starts to focus on her own career or her own social circle, and she eventually checks out emotionally. She feels she has lost herself in the relationship because there was no masculine container to hold her. She was a gas expanding in a room with no walls. Without your focus to provide the walls and the structure, she simply dissipated. So, how do you fix it? You don't do it by talking about it. You don't do it by promising to be better. You do it by recentering. You do it by reclaiming your horizon. You have to find that thing that is more important to you than her. You have to find the mission that makes you forget to check your phone. You have to find the purpose that makes you get out of bed at 5 a.m. When you find that focus again, when you start moving toward the horizon with unmoving intent, she will feel the shift instantly. She will feel the wake of your ship starting to move again, and suddenly she will find herself. She will feel that softness return. She will feel that respect return. She will realize that she doesn't want to be your mission. She wants to be the woman who stands by the man who has one. In the olden days, the focus of the man was the sanctuary of the woman. Today, that truth is still written in our DNA. If you want her to feel like herself again, if you want her to be that vibrant, happy, feminine woman you fell for, you have to stop looking at her. You have to stop making her the judge of your worth. You have to go back to the stillness and the silence of your own work. Let the quiet panic of your absence drive her back into her own role. When she sees that you are gone into your mission, she will do everything in her power to earn a place in your wake. The loss of focus is the death of the relationship, but the rebirth of focus is its only salvation. Focus on the mission, stay in the frame, and remember, you aren't being selfish by putting your goals first. You are being masculine, and a masculine man is the only thing that can give a woman the security she needs to truly find herself. Don't be the man who follows. Be the man who is the destination. When you finally stop needing her to tell you where to go, she'll spend the rest of her life making sure she's right there behind you, watching the horizon you've chosen for you both. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more contents like this.